Now we're gonna see if it's gonna fit. Okay, let's see.
Turn your rollers on. Okay. Then, when you press the white button once, it should just feed one sheet. If you want to feed in the auto mode, you press and hold it down for like 3 seconds, it'll start feeding and continues. Then if you want to stop, you hit it again and it'll stop the feed process. So there's 3 functions on this button. 1 pulse, full auto, and stop feeding. Now, if we're lucky, I push this button, it should feed us again. So what would you say? You didn't tell me what it was. Let's do this, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna turn that off and see if that's what's messing with it.
That was the double sheet monitor that we had.
Could be, but I don't think that's what's going on. Pull those sheets out of there.
In your face?
Leave that sink open, pull that stack.
Zobacz, Adam, powtórz.
Sorry, what's the weapon?
Let's see in that sheet now.
Because there's no sheet.
Well, it's seeing the sheet now, so it's saying it has a problem.
History.
Can't remember where it's at.
History?
Yeah.
Actually, if I'm not mistaken, it wasn't.
There it is. Fault material.
Obviously, there's
not
no
giving me
material.
there. Hot melt unit not ready. Okay. Tell me the hot melt
unit.
unit's not
Oh,
ready.
means the glue is
Means
not.
glue's not up to temp.
Glue is not up to temp because it's on economic.
Like it, don't tell you. So it's not going to let us do anything at this point because of that.
So,
On that system over there, you know those buttons I turned off at the top this morning? When this system's through there, you turn those off, it'll let you do whatever because it's not going to ask to call for it. Right now, it's not using the hot melt, but the hot melt's not up to temp, and I don't think there's a way to bypass that, so we'll just switch it over and let it come up to temp.
10 minutes?
Maybe for us to be able to feed, but we can play different games. We know it's going to feed. That's what was messing with it, so I think we're okay. So go ahead and set those back in there.
Finish.
And then you'll just want to make sure they're up to the front. There we go. Okay. It's going to keep hitting us with that error.
It may not still be in the temp.
It is.
It is now?
Yeah, it's in standby. But yeah, hot melt. Okay. Okay. So now, this is where it's gonna.
When you reset it, it's reset from here too.
Depends on what's going on. It should reset both, but like this one's not telling us what it is. That one's telling what it is. So when something happens down there, it's gonna go this. So I gotta figure out why.
Hot melt.
It's because it's two units. So that. Now we're in the where we start putting the parts back on.
So
I don't like to run the big 6 roller back here. I like to run some 3s because that lets you start doing stuff as soon as you can. 6 back here is kind of like overkill. And I know with what we're doing, those 6s are going to probably come more needed down there. So we're going to put some 3s in.
3 in bottom.
3 rollers.
means those.
These here. So we're going to put some of these down there.
Just to start with.
Yeah, just to get it out
Oh,
of the feeder
sorry.
and get us moving. So, go ahead and take that one right there.
Yep. There's no right or left for 3 rollers, is it?
Do what?
For 3 rollers, there's no right and left?
Well, they don't matter, but these clamps, you have a left and right.
Yep.
This one or rotate it again? Oh.
You want them both facing inside.
Ah, yes.
But
These are not.
Well, this is like the left sides. This is the left and right. These are 2 lefts.
Oh,
two
it's
lefts.
based on
So
the-
I'm just
okay.
trying to get it where you can adjust it from either side. Now, if you like to set it up where you want to adjust everything from one side, you can. But when you start using these line up on your ruler.
Uh-huh.
So then when you're going down through here trying to keep stuff in line, you can use that to go, okay, this needs to be on 9. And then you
All
can
the
do
way.
9 all the way for that particular set of rollers or whatever's happening out there. So I try to do it that way when I can. So these rollers, this is the back side. This is where it has the crash relief. So if you have a jam up, it releases. These rollers go forward because that's what detects the jam up, lets it kick it out where you can get a jam up out of it. So you want that facing the front.
How do you take that it is the...
این جمع که میخوره بهش این اسکی
Then you just push
like
it
a
down.
ski shoes
Yeah.
که نشکنه چیزی خب
Should be... Oh.
You want to raise them up a little bit. Leave that one where it's at. Just raise it up a little bit because we're going to set it in position. Then you snug it a little bit.
the position of these
So I want these rollers on that first roller. Okay. So that's where we'll take this, tilt it up. Yep. So this is where you kind of got to get tricky with it because this is the same length and this is the same length, but this is not the same length and that's not the same length. So you typically want these on like length because once it gets out there and gets a hold of it, if it's on this one and gets more rollers on it, it can twist it. So you want to line it up with a spot
almost
that's
identical.
matching length because that's going to help you keep turning.
به این نباید سعی بد باشه که این روی یک جایی باشه که این دوتا یکسان باشن اگه اینجا بذاریم موقع میپیچونه رولو
And it will
Okay.
definitely do that. So once you kind of get that where you want it,
In the middle of...
you snug that up so we know where we want it right there. So I can pull this one out.
put it back.
So then these, you typically set it to the highest position, okay, which is your different links there. Then you take this and basically just let it fall. You want enough tension on it that it's not wiggling like that. You just want it to come straight down.
Straight down and touch the.
Touch the rollers. Then once you do that, you tighten it up.
Okay.
Then you raise that up, and that puts the spring tension on the roller. Now that roller has drive. So that sets your drive tension. You get something that's super sensitive, you can go to this one. It doesn't drop it as far. So you can set it up and just go to the smaller one, or set it to that one and then roll it over to the big one that cuts like 50% of the tension off of. So you get something that's marking, you can play with that height.
It is the highest position that roller goes up. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where you typically want to set where it's at now. See how that wiggles?
Yeah.
So that's not really tight yet.
And then gonna move it to.
Yeah, there you go. Now we're tight. Now that's putting all that spring load on that drive for that piece. So
Yep, they're touching both same place. And we inch it.
we can, but because we're not really using the feeder right now, I need to. If you'll, one of you kind of move that belt forward while I
I
jog
will.
it. Just rotate them forward a little bit while I jog. Okay, we're good. Now we have it under the roller. So now we start our process of what we want to do. So we know we want to plow this. We have to plow that forward. So now we want to bring in a plow to plow this side over. Okay, so to do that, we've got to put a sword down and the plow, because that's what's going to make it stay under the plow, create it, and plowed over. So now we've got to get to the left side, and we've got to get the actual sword. Put it in position.
We have two type. One is like no, that one is
So this is your,
that's the sword.
yep, that's your left. That's the straight edge for it to hold it as it folds over the top. And then this, because it has to come up the front first, so it comes in here and then rotates over that way. So this is the one for that side.
Yep.
Here's where it gets tricky.
Which
So-
side needs to go first?
Well, no, we're going to do this side first because I know that's the side that you're putting glue on is the last one over. Because you don't want to you can't put glue on this one because it's going to fold it in and it'll just glue it to the bottom side. So this has to go in, so that has to glue to come over the top. Or you position this where this goes down and you run glue right down the center so the other one come over the top. Multiple ways of doing that. We'll just kind of see how much room we have, can we get away with it. So here's the thing with a roller system folder. On a belt system, you just start folding. This you can't, because say I stick that plow up there right next to that roller. Well, as soon as it hits this plow, it's going to start trying to pick this up. I've still got rollers driving it. So you've got to clear that set of rollers, get into another set of rollers that's going to keep moving before I can actually push that plow. So now we got to look at where we're at, where we set these, where we need to put rollers to keep this moving so I can push a plow. In that process, this is going to come over and it's going to do that. I can't necessarily just throw a set of rollers right in here to have control over because I'm going to run into those rollers. So you've got to start positioning, where do I want? What do I want to be able to do? So that's where the tricky part comes. So I know we need to be at least the length of the piece. every time. So you can take this piece and you can kind of lay on top of it and know that I'm right there when I'm free of the roller. So that tells me I can start this process probably about right here.
Oh, okay.
Because it's going to hit that and it's going to start lifting, but it's not going to start lifting that tail. So I can go as far as I can to right there. This is where this gets tricky. Slide that sucker over there. And this is where I say when you do this, you really want to strip this thing.
Okay.
You got to get all this stuff out of your way so you can look and think and move and set and change and all that. We'll leave that one. I think it'll be okay.
We need to move that one back.
Okay, that's where we want to be.
So just we have to start, for example, from 7. Okay, we cannot start from 8
You
because
can.
okay. No, I
You can
thought
start anywhere you
maybe
want
it
to.
will move it
Well, and
unless if I have a roller on it.
well, here's the thing. So, like, you had a job. Say you're doing a similar job that had something else, and this plow's up here because of whatever was going on. You had to start that process here. You don't necessarily have to tear this thing down to move all those things back. If you can still do those functions where they were at, it saves you time to just move them in and shrink it down and use those there. This is just a raw start from the finish. Here's the process of how you think of setting it up. You don't have, like this, once we put this little section together that's doing the folds, it could be down here. It's just for what we're doing, we're putting it in as tight as we can to have as much
Okay.
control. So
Yep,
we're
yep.
starting, this is the step, okay, now I have room, now I have room, now I have room, now I have room. But like I say, depending, you could do, this could be like your feed section, tape section, anything you're doing, the process all happens here. And then you get into this unit, and this is where you're doing all your foldings. You can set that up anyway. You can do all your folding back here, catch a bump 90, throw some tape on it, and that's
No, my concern were stability of the rope.
Yeah.
While it's going, it's better as soon as it finished the roll, we start it right away. It won't be nice if we say, okay, it's feeding from here. Let's set it up here because we had another setup done before.
Yeah.
And we don't, you know, personally, I'm lazy. I prefer to leave the setup the way it
Don't
is.
change it if you don't have to change it. If-
Yeah.
If you can get it to here and work it here without losing anything, do it every time.
No, that we don't
Saves
lose
time.
the stability. We just put, for example, 6 rollers. That way it will go nicely
Yep.
all the way over there.
Yep. Totally. That is exactly the way it should be. Don't create work just to be creating work. Now I try to set these up. I don't like trapping these between rails because if you have to take this thing out, then you got to start pulling rails and you get 4 or 5 other things on it. It's painful. If I put a rail on this side of this bar, I want to put a rail on this side of this bar. So it's just so you can get it out.
Mhm.
Because if you do it the other way, trust me, I've
It's
trapped
gonna be-
myself in there and it's like you got to take 15 things off and get that thing out. 'Cause I don't want that there. I need to put it somewhere else. It's just like start over.
So we have to move that a little bit
Yeah, I'm gonna
back.
get something to cut that strap.
Here.
You got something?
Yep. Yep. 2 of these.
And I will this one and that one. They're the right side. Okay, these are different than setting rollers. These have height adjustments in it. So what I try to do with these is I lower them to their most bottom location, which is right there, and then I bring it up 1, 2, 3, 4 points. That gives you up adjustment and down adjustment. These are a little tricky, so we're just gonna kind of set it on 6 for now, and then I'll move in once we get it. So this thing, you have a roller that this is the compression for after it does glue, or after it gets a fold. It's to help put a nice little crease in it.
Okay.
That has an adjustment for how much pressure and all that stuff. So what I typically do here, this is a straight plow, so I really don't have any craziness going on here, but sometimes you'll kick a plow, it'll run some underneath it. So I like to take a piece of paper and slide it underneath that plow to make sure it's not cutting into a roller. So you want at least the thickness of your paper. And it's high enough right now. I can probably come down lower.
And these 4 points that you've mentioned
That's
is
for
again
It's for raising it up and down. Now it's just like anything else. When you raise this side, it's going to push that tail down. If you raise this side, it's going to push it. So typically, if you
It's
know
better
they're
to
even
level.
and you're even, you do them both at the same time and check them front to back. Generally, when you get them too tight, it's right here, where it's too tight on the roller. They got all that mole hair on it, so it's going to be fine. But generally, I don't want mole hair if I don't have to. So, there's that. We know that's our position, so we're going to loosen these up, and I'm going to run that over to that score.
my concern is as soon as it comes up, it may push it this way.
When we get, that's what the other rollers are going to prevent. So we've got to get those in place still. But yes, you are thinking correct. Right now, if we ran that, it's just going to be a break. It's
Yep.
just going to go. Beep. Okay. Lower 8.
You ready set up any battery?
So there's that.
Harder.
We're decently close for that. Now this sword, this is what holds the pressure and guides it on that to make it fold on that score. So this is where I say you don't want anything stacking on it. So you see how that's got that ring in it? You want that perfectly straight. It's soft stainless, so it's easy to move. But you want that pretty much as straight edge as you can have on. And when you take them off and you look over there and somebody's throwing them in the floor and you get over and it's all big shit, just
It should be a straight,
you're
right?
gonna, it should be straight. So, here's where the whole fun comes in. Now we got to put another bar here. We got to hold this. So we'll pull this bar. What I typically there's a couple things that come into play. So this sword can't be far enough forward that it gets under that roller. You typically run it pretty close to the lead, to the tail, because you want that pushing that down before it gets there. Sometimes you can do it as a post transition. Sometimes you can do it before. So we're going to.
It's better.
Yeah, we're going to move this back. I'm just going to put it on there and see where it floats. Hold that right here.
Too much.
So I'm going to
Move one more to the back.
one bar back. So that one's missing the thing. So
نه
زودتر از اون باشه.
زودتر از اون بهتره که داشته باشه که گاید کنه.
نه چون مثلا اونجا اگه زودتر بشه میاد بلند میشه. این در از چیزیه که فشاری که اون میاره این باعث میشه که چیزش کنه کاورش کنه فول شه. مثل سر خیلیه. چه لباش میزنه پارچه میزنه.
Now this one has the 4 point.
it
The one.
has the same thing. You want to do the same thing with it.
Same pressure that
Just making sure they actually. So, 1, 2, 3. That lets you get the same thing because if you get too much down pressure on here, it becomes a brake. It won't let it move the sheet. It just gets stuck. And you always want to set these to where the lever is up. That way you can look across the top of the machine and make sure you haven't dug a jam out with a bypass and you've tilted one down so you can get it out. So you always want these straight up so you know everything's in position to run. Because somebody walked by messing with it, set it over there, and all of a sudden you're folding there. Now you're folding right again, or you're jamming up, you don't know why. So now, this is where we're at. We know what we're doing. We're going to put we're going to probably put 2 more 6 rollers in here for drive. So we're going to drop 2 of those rollers here because we have to maintain this at this point.
Exactly.
I also have to take over and maintain it at this point.
Like one 6 roller here, one here.
Maybe. That's where the fun comes into play. It all gets kind of crazy. So we'll grab 2 of the 6 rollers.
That was the. Alright.
tell me whenever.
Huh?
Just tell me whenever.
Yeah.
No. It has.
Yep. So we can put a 6 roller right there, which is going to maintain that. That means I could probably put another 6 roller next to this one somewhere.
Like here.
Probably put it out there. That gives us
Nice
helps us keep it
even
square
move.
pressure.
Yeah.
So we'll put those there. So we need this side for this side. So that's the one that lets you put it there.
خب از اون نه بعد
این اشتباهه.
سب کن.
باید روبرو هم باشه.
You can put that one over there. That way the
روبرو
adjustments
هم
are to
باشه.
the outside. So what I typically do with these, before I hook them, I typically raise them up in the air, get those tight. That lets you skate this back and forth and lets you see
Cool.
where you want to position. We
Hala,
know we want
bed
to be
means a
on
culture.
that side of that score
That's good.
because we don't want to prevent it from lifting. So then you tighten that one up. Now you're in position. You only need it because of the capacity.
And this one is the correct position because it's going. That's good. Let's tie it up.
Now, you tilt that to the highest position. The other way. There you go.
How did you know that?
Just there's a bigger gap.
که های میگه که اینجا این های پوزیشنه، این مدیومه، این لو پوزیشنه. small, big, medium.
Yeah, it's out.
چرا میگی؟
گپ از اینجا به بالا کمه، از اینجا به پایین زیاده، از اینجا به اینجا
Down
مدیوم.
till it touches. We'll do
Yeah,
this
better
to make
than
running right now.
Now we let it drop.
Just let it drop. You want it just enough that it kind of stays straight. So you don't want it just free. Then you want it to just come down, set flush, tighten it. Then you set the tension. Boom. We're there. So now,
Before going further, can you have 5 minutes break?
yeah.
To grab a coffee?
Let's finish this
Okay.
one.
Okay. So we'll get through getting it to where we're actually in, which is like a couple of more rollers.
Yeah.
So now we know we have rollers holding it now. So now we've got to get to the next section where we need to have rollers holding, which means it has to be starting in here so there's not an empty transition or they need to be here. But this also has to plow over and I can't be running into that. This is where we may move it around a little bit. This is where it gets tricky. So grab us another 6 roller.
Put it here.
So if we set it here, we're even where we have rollers to rollers. So it
Oh.
needs to be here. But this one may need to be over there
Because it will fold over.
because it's going to fold over into it. Then we may have to put another one in here that's shorty holding it so that can make the transition to go over. So hold that one there. That's going to be over
یکی این
there.
وقتی میخواد فورچی و روم داشته باشه ببینید دیدن
آفرین.
چون
آره.
کسی-
میگه ولی شاید یکی دیگه هم بخوایم اینجا بذاریم که قشنگ چیز بزنه. خب بزنیم توش. باز کن. خب بعد ببرش بالا بالا.
Yeah, so
آها حالا ببندش. حالا لوکیشنش رو. This is the right
now we
location.
know because we got that fold over coming on, we're going to be out of the way, so we want to pretty much be within an inch from that. We want to stay
Within
on
it.
that tab, so just right there is probably good. And then you always wiggle it when you tighten that up. There you go. Then go into tension, drop that down.
ببندش. ببند.
Back up.
نه ببندش.
چرا اینو بندم؟
اینو
باید
back
بیای
this
بالا
up.
دیگه.
No, he can tighten it up.
Tied it up completely.
should have
Then
tension.
we back it.
Now we got tension. So now we've
آخر
got
کار
drive
اینو
here,
حالت
we've
بده.
got drive here. So
ولی
I'm
موقعی
gonna
که
jog
میندازی و
forward.
میبندی
آره، تنظیم.
We're going to jog, which it's starting to do a fold now. Okay, so now I need to get a set of rollers right through here to help drive this side because we only have drive on that side. So I'm going to set a set of rollers right here. Now, here's where it gets crazy. I'm going to look to see if we've got something that's a little short. That's long. So you've got different styles. This is a longer one with smaller rollers. This one's in there. Depends on it. You can put stuff over the top. You actually got drive on the rollers. This is for your capacity fold, but they can be used for anything. So you've got
What's the difference between capacity?
this one. This one has a single, this has a double.
Mhm.
Those can be tough to get in and out from.
For sure.
I don't see the micro set. There was a micro and narrow ones, but I didn't see them on this. Doesn't mean it's not there. It could be in that other box. But we'll go with this.
بوی چسب اوکی. Yeah.
We're looking for the shorter roller, so you want to bypass these?
Well, no, because this is going to give us more stability and support, and it's consistent through the whole thing. What I'm trying to do right here is where, and you'll see here in a second, right here is a transition of chaos. So what's going to happen is you've got all those plows and rollers in there. This is getting ready to come over like this, and it's getting ready to start coming down. So you want this to come down in a smooth transition as much as possible. You don't want the tail to be snagging, because what it can do is make it do a crooked fold when it snags that tail. So you want it to be as smooth as possible. Now, there's ways around it. We can do things to help it. But if I can get that smooth transition without having to really do something crazy there, I'd rather have that. So that's what we're looking at. So
دلیلش رو
we're gonna
اینچت
I'm gonna put this
Oh.
on it. And then that way at least I have it.
داده.
Yeah, I want that side. I mean, one of the others.
It's
No, hang it.
Does it make any differences to put this on the other side? Or
Well, it does, but when you get over here, then you can't tighten it up because all the
It's
clamping.
touchy.
That's where the
to not can't.
اوکی. بذارشی بذارین این رو بگیر.
هم میگه برای اینکه پیچاش به هم گیر نکنه ما داریم.
آره. You can take it off of it. There you go. You finally got it. And it's like sometimes it'll find it pretty good. Sometimes it don't.
To the biggest one.
Yep.
Then we drop it. We shut it down. We put it
Now
up.
we got tension. So now we can jog and see what happens here and see what we need to do. So here we go. We're going to jog. You're going to get some of that just because of the size of the piece. So we might scoot it over a little bit to take some of that tension off of it. So that'll help push that further away, get it more out towards the tip. There's certain things we can do. We might move it back there. So now we're in smooth transition. Now we got to set up rollers here. And we can set this, we might be able to move this one all the way over here, up against this one. Move it to here and run it to full length here, because that'll be the time we're going to start plowing that one. So I say sometimes this is just experiment. So we're probably going to move that one to right next to this one and really kick it out here. which means we take the bar out, we just unhook it at that point.
Should I take it out?
Yep. Here's the thing, if it don't work, put the fuck back.
Yeah.
Printing 101, if you move and it don't work, that wasn't it. Will this make it easier for you? There we go. And you're gonna want it right here. We're gonna clamp it right to that one. Right next to that one, right? So we're gonna put those clamps as tight as we can get it, which means we may wind up moving over a little bit. So you're gonna want this one right here.
Yeah.
This. Did you guys ever have the toy called a Rector set when you were little? Did you? You remember
Just
those?
Lego.
Where it was like all the metal pieces, bolts and everything.
Yeah.
You just made all
Yes,
kinds
uh-huh.
of weird shit. That's what this fucking is.
Exactly.
Fucking a Rector set.
Not as complicated as this one.
Okay. Now that's on the tray. Thank you.
We're gonna go that way, just about as far as it'll let us go.
Yeah, that's as far as it can go. And then we drop it while it's set.
Yeah. And we're gonna have to go a little bit further because where it is right now, it's setting on that, so that'll run into it. So we need to move everything that way about 1 inch. About what, 15, 20 millimeters? 20?
20. Then I will move this.
Now when you do that, you don't have to release that.
Yep.
So once you're set, now you're gonna have to reset it.
Yes. I will move 6 from 4. Now.
Yep.
Just want to make sure. Yeah.
Now, see, and you gotta watch that slid. So
Oh,
you're-
yeah.
You're still loose, so. What I do typically with these is I'll take, once I get them in and I know they're tight, I'll mark them with a Sharpie. That way when you do that, and you do release it, you see that Sharpie lift, you know that it's not snug. And then that, just raise it up, and you should be able to just loosen that and slide it over. There we go. Right there. So now this has room to come down and not hit that. And we still have drive on it. Now if we wanted to, we could stick another 6 right in here maybe, just to give it some strength. Because this is a lot on one side, so we may mess with that. But now we're pretty much ready to start keep this side down, which is nice because now you're into this side, nothing's over here. You can just start stacking rollers down through here to hold it, because you're just dealing with that plow to bring it over. And it's a lot less that's coming over. So that side comes easy.
Okay, to put another 6 now, or you think?
I think I'll leave it like that for
Because
now
I
and see if
believe
we
we
have
will.
to add it. It's one of those things, don't add it if you don't have to.
Yeah, no, on the other hand, how many 6 do we have? Or
Not a
the way
lot.
that
You've
it
got
goes?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
6 of 6.
6 of them, plus you've got the other 10s or whatever, plus we've got a couple there that we can steal and do things with and stuff, so. And we still got to go a long ways.
Yeah, video just at the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay, then you move.
Quick break.
Quick break,
Break,
yeah.
All right.